Hello, everyone, and as always, welcome back to Strategy Gaming Dojo, where we find, learn, and play one more turn of the great strategy games. Today, it's back into Gary Grigsby's War in the Pacific Admirals Edition. This is our I was going to say let's play. It's a play-by-email challenge against the devilish Mr. Lodrick. It is now February 7th, 1942. We're going to see February 7th and February 8th. Uh, Apologies, I didn't put up a setup for this turn. I usually do a combat resolution, then I do the setup after that combat resolution. Just over the holidays, I fell a little bit behind, and I don't want to get too far behind here, so everything's still fairly fresh in my memory and because I am playing ahead. I mean, we're a few weeks ahead of this. So anyway, I just want to kind of catch up a little bit. So I thought I'd do two straight combat resolutions here. I know some of you really enjoyed the setup. Hell, I do too. But we'll get back to that next time. But I wanted to get a new episode out. So let's check out February 7th, February 8th. Let's see what that Mr. Lodrick has in store for us. And this time around, there there's nothing I guess that you would say is top of my list. There's nothing that I'm, coming into this combat resolution saying, "Gosh, I can't wait to see what happens at, Singapore or something." He's already taken Singapore, and now he's taken. That is the other base off of Rabaul. So I think that's what New. I always forget that New Britain, New. I can't remember now. The island where Rabaul is, it's the other main base there. He's now taken that. Now we see a Japanese sub is lurking off of Perth. Now a lot of this cargo coming in and out of Perth, I do have with escort. Some I don't. I mean, you don't have enough destroyers to get them in every single task force that's coming. So we did get a torpedo hit on here. Now it doesn't look like it's that severe. It just says torpedo hits one, doesn't say fires, doesn't say heavy damage or something. So the AK Alfred has been hit. We'll see if we can get him back to Perth. Okay, we got some merging going on right off Colombo. Okay, we've got a cruiser here, a Japanese cruiser. He's getting ready to bombard the base right here. So he's looking to now jump over. He's taken Singapore. Now he's going to try to jump over here to Sumatra. He's going to get some good coffee, I think. Uh, and over here he comes, as he usually does, and this is the way you should do it. He brings up some capital ships and bombard, 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 kind of, weaken us a little bit. You can see we took 216 casualties. Now, if you play the Japanese, just be in mind that there are coastal guns usually, and that's why you'll see the Japanese players kind of go to these secondary bases where there are fewer coastal guns than going straight into, let's say, Palembang. Now, he's probably got enough strength in the area to take Palembang, but he may lose several ships doing it. So, starting at the secondaries here, amphibious assault. Oh, that's Bencalis, is where he bombarded, and now he's got troops coming on. 24 casualties reported for him as he lands at Bencalis. He is now on Sumatra. I'll take a dark roast. All right, it's daytime on February 7th. We're reporting, these are all of our coast watchers looking about. Only got 2 reports out of them this time. Okay, there you see him unloading at Bencalis, and he will now start to bombard again. This time we take 8 casualties. You can see he's got his transport there, the Katano Maru, and the Hayashiro. Hayashio, the destroyer, was doing some bombardment. All right, another task force merging, merging. We say that we're sighting some ships off the west coast of America. Now, that's what I'm talking about. We've got a lot of naval search pilots that aren't very good. They're just not very good in this part of the game yet, this early on. And so they make all kinds of false sightings. Just always keep that in mind. Um, you kind of got to see, do you see him over multiple turns? Does it seem to make sense? I don't think he's going to have 7 ships off the coast of, San Francisco right now. So, just keep that in mind. 8 casualties reported here as he starts his Chinese bombing command or campaign. I was thinking of command modern operations. Bombing in here on this group that's north of Kukong. We're going to try to get them back up to Hanyang if we can. 1 damage Sonya there. We took no damage on the ground. Now this is the Loyang stack I always talk about. 25 Sonyas, 19 Marys in on that stack. And we'll see what kind of damage. We've been, hitting quite a few of his planes. I don't know how many he's actually losing. 2 damaged. We took 12 casualties. Now he hits Yan'an again. It's been a very popular bombing target for him. We damage 4 planes. We take 112 casualties. Now he's back in with another 87 bombers. And it's not a small force. 5 damaged, 99 casualties for us on the ground. Okay. This is the stack trying to get across the river here. He brings in quite a number of bombers. We took 1 damage, 38 casualties reported. Now he's going to go do a sweep out over Rangoon, and we're going to get some action because we've got these Hurricane 2A Trops here. We've got the Flying Tigers here. He, meanwhile, is bringing 31 Oscars and 27 Sallies in bombers. So he's got 31 fighters. We're only showing 3 at the moment, but more than that showed is scrambled. We'll see how many actually make it up here. You can see that happened very quickly, but we had 14 Hurricane 2As that did make it in the air. Now, this is what got up over the target, over Rangoon, and we've got a lot of anti-aircraft here, and you can see, boom, 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 hopefully. Wow, there we go. Now we finally get a result here a little bit. Sally's, 5 destroyed bombers, 5 damage, 1 destroyed Oscar. We did not lose a plane. Now that's what I'm talking about. We got 5 Flying Tigers up, 12 Hurricanes, so we basically had 17 fighters against his 31 Oscars, with the Sallies coming along, trying to get protected. Now this is what'll happen when you're running escort is, they've got to try to stay with the bombers, the game models this mathematically, but the basic idea is when they're escorting, they're a little more limited of how much dogfighting they're actually going to do because they don't want to leave the bombers, right? And so you're going to have an advantage when they escort in. That's why he runs sweeps first, because then you're just going straight air to air, and these Oscars could maybe do a little bit more. But that was an excellent result for us, and he's going to come back for more. Oh yeah, that's 31 Oscars. Let's see if we can do a little more damage here. Now, only 23 made it to the target. I would imagine he's going to be upset about that. He probably wanted that sweep to happen first and then the escorted bombing run to happen second. That's not how it played out. We destroy 2 Oscars here. The Flying Tigers lose 2 more planes. Now, those Hurricane Trops, these guys are gold. They're worth their weight in gold once you get these British Trops. 12 of them, you can see we don't lose one of them, and we are losing some Flying Tigers, but 2-2 there. And now we bloodied his nose a little bit over Rangoon anyway, and maybe that'll dissuade, a lot of this bombing, at least over Rangoon. It's not going to dissuade it out here in China, I can tell you that much. 24 ands, okay, 1 damage, 17 casualties. This is the group just south of Nanyang. We keep trying to get them out. Very hard to do. 30 casualties reported on the ground. We didn't damage any planes. The group, the stack north of Kukong, we damaged an An. All right. We took no casualties on the ground. It seems like this area he has a lot more trouble, putting casualties on us. Oh no, we scrambled 2 I-16s into the slaughter. 6 Tojos, we'll see. I doubt they're going to make it. Well, we only lost one of the 2. Yay! Okay. Oh, here he comes back over Rangoon. We get 2A Trops up. They're more than a match for the Oscar with the really experienced pilots that they come with, generally speaking. We'll see how we did this time. We destroyed an Oscar. We did not lose a Trop. Excellent. I mean, this squadron has really it's been up in cap 3 different times. It hasn't lost a plane, and it's got some kills in there. Okay, just south of Nanyang stack gets bombed again. 2 damaged planes, 47 casualties. Snooping out over Ai Chang. He's got some lilies coming in. Nothing doing here north of Kukong. That's why I said just this area right here. He doesn't have quite as much success, it seems anyway. It could be the weather. It is also kind of rougher ground. Out here is kind of flat, right? A little easier to bomb out here. 18 IDAs, 103 casualties. Ugh, yuck. I love the name of that town, Dadjengus. That just sounds kind of cool. All right, we're again reporting ships. Now this could be submarines. It says 10 ships near the island there, so we'll see. We just spotted a Japanese sub, 3 ships near Rabaul. He's got a lot of stuff out here in the Celebes Sea. I mean, ultimately, there's nothing we can do about any of this up here. So I guess it's nice to know, but no action we can take on it. 10 Oscars over the top of Henyang. Now here comes the carrier strikes in on Moresby. You can see 56 zeros, 84 Kates, 83 Vals. Wow, 167 bombers. So he is going to take out the runway at Port Moresby, which ultimately he was going to take Port Moresby anyway. So he's damaging his own runway eventually. 5 damage, 7 damage total planes. We did have these Warhawks up here, and it was just a small squadron of them. I think there was 8. I think I put 8 of them up here. I split a squadron, and I put 8 up here. They're just not going to get out of here now. They're all damaged or you know, in maintenance, let's put it that way. 22 runway hits, port hits 8. So he's really just ravaging Port Moresby now. And, that's fine. If he wants to keep bombing it, that's fine with me because that's going to be his airfield and port soon enough. So, okay. 13 Sonyas in the southeastern China. 1 damaged Sonya, 17 casualties. All right, Sonia's over southeastern China again, 37 casualties. Lots of sightings of planes, of course. He's got planes flying here, there, and everywhere. We'll see if we get any ground action on February 7th. He's still landing at Bencalis. Okay, now he's unloading at one of my favorite bases, Tay. What's up, Tay? Now he's going to bombard Buna. So he's getting ready to land at Buna, which is pretty, normal route to go about this. It's hard to come around here because we may have aircraft that can bomb him, but over here he's a little more protected. He's got 2 light cruisers, a destroyer, and an AP, so he does have a landing craft in here. It seems 7 casualties reported. We did fire 2. This is pre-invasion action. 2 coastal guns went off, but didn't do any damage. Our coastal guns have been pretty poor this game. Sometimes you'll get some really nice hits. Okay, Task Force landing at Buna. It's the 4th Naval Guard for the Japanese. See if we get any land attack, and we do in China. This is one of the our southeastern China stacks. Now, I mean, look at the assault values he has here compared to what we have. We're trying to get him out of there because this is what you'll run into if you do get into a scrap. It's not a good thing. You want to be in a set location, but some of these start way out here. I think that if I had to do it again, I would probably just let them sit in these forts. Or I call them forts sometimes, bases. I would just let them sit here, build up some base levels, and just let them try to hold off assaults. I think it maybe would have slowed him down a little bit more. He's been way more aggressive in China than most people will be. So I'm saying this in retrospect. I played it the way I usually do, which is just to pull these guys out, and you usually have no problem getting them out, especially against like the AI. You don't have any problem at all getting him out. Against a good player like this, he's brought the pressure, and now, hey, we got kicked back. We're almost to the hex we wanted to get to, but we're going to take a lot of casualties doing that. 6783, he took 1,000. So 6-1 losses, a little more than that, actually. Now he's going to try Ambon again. This is us, the actually Allied bombardment attack. So he's still sitting on the beach, and we just keep lobbing shells at him because I think we've got him outnumbered there, or at least out assault valued. All right, here come the fortification builds, and we'll be getting into February 8th here in just a moment. I was really happy with what happened over Rangoon that time. I'm also pretty fine with him just bombing the living daylights out of Moresby. Like I said, he's kind of destroying what's going to be his base. Um, Look, I would have loved to hold it, but against a really good player, you're probably not going to hold Port Moresby unless you just throw way more into it than I was willing to do. I will say, if I was going to go back and do anything, I would have had a massive task force drop off supply there. We're actually right on the first day that we could. Um, but we're actually a little light on supply there. He got down there a lot faster than I was expecting him to, and we just weren't able. We've lost a few small cargo ships trying to get in there, and we're just the supply situation there is not great right now. So, you know, look, we were going to lose it eventually anyway. You want to make it as difficult as possible, though. And you really, with your ground troops in China and in the islands, whether they be the Dutch East Indies or where, even in the Philippines to some degree, you want to try to do everything you can to keep your troops from starving out. You want him to have to assault them and take losses. If you get so whittled down that he can just essentially do any kind of attack and not lose any troops, you're kind of fighting a guerrilla war in some of these places. So you want him to take as many losses as possible. Obviously, you're going to lose these places, but you want to make it hurt, and a big part of that is getting supply to them so that they don't kind of starve down, I'll call it, and lose all of their strength from just not having supply. All right, you can see he has now deposited some troops right there at Buna on Papua New Guinea. So just a matter of time before he takes that. Hey, look, we found well, it looks like he found us. Now this is a DM, so it's a destroyer mine layer. The Breeze. We also have the Tanker California Standard out here, and another DM, the Sicard, is out here. He got. No, it was an ASW attack. Excellent. Okay, so we found him. We found this up. This is way down. I mean, this is the Panama Canal, right? And this is the west coast of the U.S. is right there. So he's quite a ways over here, but we fended that off by finding the sub first. Dutch sub, but unfortunately that's a Japanese destroyer. It was an ASW attack, anti-submarine warfare, if you're not familiar. This was Dutch sub, got hit twice by this destroyer, the Kuratake. All right, unloading at Buna. And it's daytime. Let there be light. It's fully unloading at Buna. We don't have a whole lot there. I did send one of those koi groups over there, but I don't think that's going to do much. Uh-oh. That same I think this is the exact same sub, or it's hunting in a pack, right off just to the south of Perth. Now, we were bringing things down here to Albany and Esperance, and he seems to be onto that gig. The Ethiopia torpedo hits one, heavy damage. Don't like to see that. You don't want to get the next message on the screen, which says it's now sunk. We haven't seen that yet. All right, we're reporting. These are all of our plane sightings. That's what happens first. This first kind of where you see all of these sightings, these are your planes that are doing recon or naval search, or hell, maybe they're doing some other mission and they just happen to see something. You can see diving submarine, 4 Japanese ships we spotted, O-47, spotting these Japanese ships out here. If they get a good enough detection level on them, that's when they appear on the screen. Sometimes you cite them, but they don't appear on the screen because we're just not sure if it was true or not, or we don't have a good enough detection level on them. 10 Oscars sweep over Henyang. Now he's got just 3 Mabels in on this stack north of Kukong. All right, a few more bombers come along this time. 1 damaged plane, 7 casualties. All right, quite a few bombers here as well. 54, 78, 78 bombers in on Yan'an. We've been damaging a lot of bombers over Yan'an, but he's been doing a lot of casualties too. 4 damaged planes, 157 casualties. He follows up with 51 sallies. We damage 5 of those and only take 82 casualties. Oh, for all of those to go down. All right, this group that just got kicked out of this hex in that land battle yesterday is now getting bombed to add insult to injury. We damage 1 plane, take 67 casualties on the ground, 16 sallies over the top of that group. Okay, 92 casualties. No planes were damaged there. I hate those. North of Kukong, 1 damaged plane, no casualties again. That's what I say. Just right up here, for whatever reason, he doesn't have nearly as much success with his bombing. We we put that other I-16 up. Too bad. Too bad. Got to write a letter home to his family because yes, that I-16 is destroyed. Unfortunately, 6 Tojos. We're gonna always take care of an I-16. 2 Oscars sweep over Henyang. Nothing doing. 36 hands over Yan'an again. 8 casualties this time. Okay, 5 Lilies over this same group north of Kukong. And again, we only take 8 casualties there. I don't know if it's the terrain, the weather, or what, but it just, or maybe he doesn't have as good a pilots in the south. That could certainly be the case. All right, 6 hands over this group, 10 casualties reported, and the aircraft start to land after their first bombing sweeps. 5 Japanese ships down here, and then we're spotting things out near Johnston. Those have almost got to be subs. Now it'll say 2 ships, but it doesn't differentiate always. I don't believe anyway. Now sometimes it'll say periscope sighted or something like that, but oftentimes I think some of these quote unquote ship sightings are submarines. Okay, coming in over Rangoon again, 27 Oscars. We did get cap up. It looked like we got like 6 planes up by the time they finally get up here. And we'll see how that played out. Okay, no Japanese losses, and we lost 2 more Flying Tigers. I'll be danged. I've just never had a game where the Flying Tigers have performed so terribly. 160 bombers, 56 zeros in on Moresby as he continues to just decimate Port Moresby. We damaged 7 bombers. Okay. We had an Empire, which was a recon craft. No, this is a transport craft, I believe, destroyed on the ground, and he again hits the port and the runway. Sweep over Rangoon. Do we even put anything up this time? We do not. And we damage one Sally. Wait a minute. We did. Nope. We got no cap up. So this is on the ground. He damaged a Flying Tiger. We damaged 4 Sallies. He hits the runway for 5 and airbase for 1. Now, we've got a lot of engineers in Rangoon. So we can rebuild that runway or air. I should call it an airfield. It's not just one runway, but um, we can rebuild that, fairly quickly. So if we can keep it down to 5 points here, 5 points there, we could be okay. All right, so now we're getting more sightings. Now this is us sighting his aircraft. That's this phase of the turn. We're seeing different aircraft that he's flying around, or at least people are telling us he's flying around. We'll see if we get any more land combat this time. Okay, we've got these are our air groups that are combining. You can see we got a lot of bombers into Suva there. We've got bombers into Auckland. Oh, this damn sub. Is he going to get the Ethiopia? Looks like maybe he did. Torpedo hits 2 on fire heavy damage. And there you see the AK Ethiopia sinks. Okay, I mean, you could see all the ships we have around there. We have escort now in the area, or at least destroyers have run over there, but it was too late to save the Ethiopia. Minato now coming under fire as it looks like he's going to be assaulting Minato in the not too distant future. He's trying to soften it up with a naval bombardment to start with. We take 62 casualties. He does a number on the runway. There are 29 hits. All right, he's unloading at Buna, which he's been doing for the better part of 2 days here. I think that's about going to do it. We'll see what's coming in this time. Oh, yeah, I always forget. Land move attack phase is last. This is us bombarding his Marines again. So we lob some shells. Now we're not, you don't see any casualties, but we could be disrupting them at least. Well, he's only showing 168 troops. We've got 1603 out here at Ambon. Pretty decent force actually for Ambon. Um, 60 to 52. And, he hasn't assaulted it yet because I think we've actually got more strength there than he does. All right, let's see what we get in this time. Ado, we've expanded out. Cole Harbor gets some new fortifications, goes from a 1 to a 2. That was that for that. And let's see what arrived this time. Always fun because then I can't wait to come back the next time to move the new things around. All right, we've got some of our destroyers that are being taken out of commission to refit. Just a few here and there. I'm not doing all of them all at once. I've set a few on upgrade, but most of them are not. And then once those are done, then we'll do a few more and just keep kind of rolling it that way. At least that's how I like to do it. I mean, you don't want to get a situation where you got 50 ships in refit and or upgrade if you'd rather call it that, and you don't have enough escorts. All right, we've got AKs out here arriving at Aden. Hey, we'll take all that we can get. Second Marine was coming in at San Diego. We got 7th Australian Division at Aden, or not division, I'm sorry, battalion, I believe. No, cavalry regiment. And that is part of a division. So that is all in at Aden now. And we will be sending that Australian division to guess where? Australia. You may have found that shocking. Anyway, that's going to do it for this time. I mean, really, the big things going on is he is landing at Buna. We did lose a cargo ship off of Perth to a submarine, so we're going to have to get some anti-submarine, more of it even, down there. Um, we had a really nice day over Rangoon for the most part. I think the kills were it's like 7 or 8 to 2 or 3, but he also had a lot of planes damaged, so we'll certainly take that. His carriers remain in and around Port Moresby. They basically made the airfield unoperable at this point. But we continue to not be getting any pressure out by Suva, Nomaya, Pago. That becomes huge, I can tell you later, because I am stuffing those things full of troops, supply, fuel. We've got those islands fairly well garrisoned at this point, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. There's other places not so good like China, but that area down into the South Pacific is actually looking pretty good for us at this moment. As is India. I mean, he really hasn't he did his one raid with his carriers over into the Colombo area. Spoiler alert, we may see a replay of that coming up soon, but we'll get to that all next time. I'm going to do a setup video this next time. I'll have that out tomorrow, and we'll get rolling on these again and get caught up or get fairly caught. I like to be about a week behind. So anyway, this has been Strategy Gaming Dojo. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll talk to you next time. Have a great one.